Are you living the life you were born to live? Or are you stuck underneath a hard shell that keeps you in the dark about who you are and blocks your vision for your life's purpose? Is your shell made up of excuses, circumstances, fears? If so, you may be experiencing the eggshell dilemma, an ageless, chronic, and sometimes terminal condition that affects both chickens and humans. Good morning, Master Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest. Did you know that before baby chicks are hatched, they have their eyes closed? They have no idea that they're encased in a shell that will either give them a new life or will guarantee their death. In fact, breaking out of a shell for baby chicks creates insurmountable problems. If they wait too long to break out of their shell, they run out of air, they suffocate, and they die. That shell that was once their incubator now becomes their coffin. Other baby chicks have their shell broken for them, and when that happens, they're born prematurely, underdeveloped, and they lead a very short life. Other baby chicks, they never even begin to break out of their shell. And so it is with us. What does your shell look like? Rising debt? A health issue? Or maybe it's that familiar excuse, I just don't have time. And what do? When we run into insurmountable problems, we often shut our eyes, shrug our shoulders, and say, well, I guess I was never meant to be a speaker, an author, or an entrepreneur. Other times, we get so enamored by our everyday comforts that we don't want to break out of our shell. And we let once-in-a-lifetime opportunities pass us by. Sometimes we get real brave and we peck a hole in our shell and we look out. And then we become immediately paralyzed by what ifs. What if I fail? What if I go bankrupt? What if nobody likes me? And a tidal wave of what ifs sends us scurrying back to our shell like sandpipers on a beach who are trying to avoid the encroaching tide. Baby chicks were not meant for easy buttons, and neither were we. In fact, our country was formed by brave men and women who refused to let their fears or circumstances keep them from the pursuit of the unknown. When the Pilgrims took that first step onto the Mayflower, they had no idea if that boat would be able to safely carry them from England to the New World. And they had no clue about the dangers they would face when they reached Plymouth Rock. And Neil Armstrong, when he took that giant step for mankind on the moon, he had no idea if the lunar module would actually be able to lift off from the moon and carry him back to the spacecraft. We're here to a large extent today because of explorers, overcomers, innovators who risked everything to break out of their shell. These were ordinary men and women who did extraordinary things in order to beat insurmountable odds. What would our world be like today if no one broke out of their shell? It would be like the baby chick who never broke out of its shell. It would die. Our world is depending on each one of you to be the leaders, the speakers, the entrepreneurs. If you don't break out of your shell, if you don't take the risk to find out who you really are and how your gifts fit into this world, we all lose out. Helen Keller said, I am so thankful for all my handicaps because through them I have discovered myself, my work, and my God. It is only when we struggle to overcome our barriers, our problems, that we really discover who we are, our passion, and our purpose. we discovered that that shell that connects us to our past is actually a doorway to our future. Is there a shell that's preventing you from seeking the life that you were born to live? Is that shell keeping you from seeing beyond your present circumstances? If so, open your eyes. Grasp the circumstances that are right in front of you, and then begin to peck at that shell until there's nothing left of it, no other use for it than as a perch from which you can view the world that waits for you. Break out of your shell now for the rest and the best of your life.